he wasn't due for 4 or 5 weeks later, and while I was at the energy conference, felt perfectly fine, but had thought maybe a few things were starting to progress a little bit, that perhaps there was an idea there that maybe he'd come a little bit early. So called my doctor at about 4 in the morning in Texas, and I said, I'm going to stay for the day here at the energy conference, have a speech that I was determined to give at 1 o'clock that afternoon, and had Todd check on a couple of flights that were earlier than we had scheduled. I decided it would be okay to skip the reception that night.
At 4 a.m., a strange sensation low in my belly woke me, and I sat up straight in bed. It can't be, I thought. It's way too early. Moments later, I shook Todd awake. Something's going on. He sat up in bed, instantly alert. I'm calling CBJ. No, don't do that. It's only 1 a.m. in Alaska. I didn't want to call anyone yet. I just wanted to take stock and see whether this baby was really coming. I also wanted time to pray and ask God silently but fervently to let everything be okay. Desperation for this baby overwhelmed me.
When you said you felt some signs of labor, what were those signs?
Well, not contractions so much, because I had Braxton Hicks contractions for months, as every pregnant woman does, and nothing real painful, but just knowing that it was feeling like I may not be able to be pregnant a whole another 4 or 5 weeks, knowing that it would be not a bother to call our doctor and let her know. And she's delivered, how many babies over the years did she say? A lot. It's been a couple decades of her delivering babies. We knew to call her and just get her advice. And from there, we just, again, decided to skip the energy conference reception and come on home and get checked out.
Please don't let anything happen to this baby. It occurred to me, once and for all, I am so in love with this child. Please, God, protect him. After all my doubts and fears, I had fallen in love with this precious child. The worst thing in the world would be that I would lose him. God knew what he was doing. Over my protests, Todd called CBJ. I told her that I felt fine and absolutely did not want to cancel my speech and disappoint the folks at the conference, including my co-host, Texas Governor Rick Perry. We agreed that I would stay in contact with CBJ through the day. I'd take it easy, give my speech, then catch an earlier flight back to Alaska. I still had plenty of time.
So did your water break?
Well, if you must know more of those type of details.
But your dad said that, and I saw him say it, so that's why I asked.
Well, that was, again, if I must get personal, technical about this at the same time, it was a sign that I knew could lead to labor being kind of kicked in there, was any kind of amniotic fluid leaking. So when that happened, we decided, okay, let's call her.
I took the podium and opened by teasing the audience about how great it was to be in our little sister state of Texas. Big laughs, more contractions. Then I handed the mic back to Rick and walked off the stage. Hey, Rick drawled over the sound system with a chuckle, we're not finished with the program. I turned around, smiled, waved, and kept moving. I know you're pregnant, Rick said, joking into the mic, but don't tell me you're going off to have the baby right now. The audience laughed. I smiled and waved goodbye. I thought, if you only knew.
We'd already by that time have taken care of our meetings and my speech. So Todd checked on flights. A flight allowed us to get out a little bit earlier than we had planned, skip the reception, and called my doctor before I got on the plane to say, yeah, we think that we will come home a few hours early. And she said, okay, well, call when you land and I'll check you out. But none of my babies had been early, and being my fifth child, I know what labor feels like. And if I had felt that all of it, I was really engaged in labor activities, I would not have desired to fly and get back to deliver in Alaska.
It's okay, honey. It's okay.
My vagina still hurts. But anyway, so, no real huge labor signs. Landed in Anchorage at about 10:30, got out to the valley at 11:30, and she met us at the hospital, checked me out, and said, yeah, you may have it tonight or in the morning. And it was smooth. It was relatively easy. In fact, it was very easy, the easiest out of all of them because it was so tiny. And it's been absolutely wonderful. And it just all seemed meant to be. The logistics and everything else just worked out so perfectly.
And just a clarification, you flew commercial Alaska Airlines?
Yeah.
And this was something else I think I heard your father say, I just want to clarify. Did you have to hide your pregnancy because you were so far along?
Well, I never felt, nor do some people say that I ever looked like I was that far along. So no purposeful way or need to hide that I was pregnant. I know that some airlines would have some hesitancy on letting maybe a 9-month pregnant person get on board, but it wasn't 9 months, so it was.
Great.
Yeah?
It's been extraordinarily comfortable and easy, this pregnancy. In fact, I didn't tell anybody I was pregnant until last month, and I hid it until last month, and then didn't even purposefully really try to hide it. Just my abs were tight and I could hide it until this month. There was no way.
And you didn't tell them that you were feeling something when you came back on the plane?
No need to, because I wasn't feeling at all like I was in labor. In fact, I wasn't. One or maybe 2 contractions an hour that felt just like Braxton Hicks, which I've been having for months. That doesn't constitute labor, so.
And guys, we gotta wrap it up, so I just has to take a quick picture, and then she's gotta go.
It just was it important to you, though, to have the baby in Alaska?
It was very important that we have. It was more important that Trig arrive safely and healthy, and that is exactly what happened. The extra blessing was that Trig was able to be born into this great state, you know, kind of I feel like the extended Alaskan family, that he was here for that.
Can't have a fish picker from Texas.
Not contractions so much,
More contractions.
knowing that it would be not a bother to call our doctor.
No, don't do that. I didn't want to call anyone yet.
Just like Braxton Hicks, it was feeling like I may not be able to be pregnant.
Extraordinarily comfortable and easy.
Desperation for this baby overwhelmed me.
In fact, it was very easy, the easiest out of all of them. I had felt that all of it, I was really engaged in labor activities and amniotic fluid leaking. No real huge labor signs.
More contractions. Please don't let anything happen to this baby. I still had plenty of time.
No purposeful way or need to hide that I was pregnant.
I hid it until last month, and then didn't even purposefully really try to hide it. Just
The logistics and everything else just worked out so perfectly.